My name is Ashwin Madia. A lot of you don't know who I am, so let me take a couple seconds. I'm going to tell you who I am, and I'm going to tell you why I'm running for Congress. I'm the humble son of Indian immigrants. My parents came to this country, and they had $19 between them when they first came to Boston. They bought an $11 bottle of champagne, so they started off with $8 in this country. We moved all around the country. We ended up settling in Minnesota when I was in high school. So I finished out high school at Osseo Senior High, then I went to the University of Minnesota. While there, I served as student body president, and I worked hard to keep education costs low and keep education accessible for people from all walks of life. After college, I moved to New York, and I went to law school. After law school, I joined the Marine Corps. I was in the Corps for 4 years. Most of the time after basic training, I spent in Okinawa, Japan, but I also did a tour in Iraq from September 2005 to March of 2006. While there, I worked with Iraqi judges, the State Department, the United Nations, and the Justice Department to help build Iraq's legal system. We called it the Rule of Law Mission to try and get the criminal justice system set so that it could operate and put these terrorists away. I got out of the Marine Corps in July of 2006, and I moved back to Minnesota, where I've been practicing law since then until about 10 days ago, where I left my job so I could campaign full-time. Okay, now let me get to the important part. Let me tell you why I'm running for Congress. I'm running for Congress because I think a lot of people in this nation feel as though the wheels are coming off in some ways. Like there's no one standing up for them. Like they don't know where to turn anymore. I think that we need leaders that have some guts and that show courage and that stand up for what we believe in as Democrats, because I think a lot of Americans agree with this. I think we need to end this war in Iraq, and I think we need to do it in a way that we don't leave a disaster behind. I think we need to be as careful getting out of this war as we were careless getting in. I think we need to balance our budget. This is something a lot of Republicans or Democrats don't really talk about anymore, but it's important. Right now we are borrowing hundreds of billions of dollars from future generations. I think we can do better, and I think we ought to do better. We owe it to kids and grandkids to do better. Third, I want to address global warming. I think this planet is heating up, and I think we're a cause of it. But I think we also have a unique opportunity to change that. I think we have a unique opportunity to lead the world in addressing this problem. And I think we have a chance to make a lot of money in the process. I think the new green economy over the next 10 to 20 years can be what the internet boom was in the late 90s if we get out in front. Fourth, I want to make healthcare more accessible, more affordable. We're the wealthiest country in the world, and it's shameful we have 40 million people in this country that are uninsured. I also want to renew our federal commitment to education. I don't think the cost should ever be a reason why someone decides not to go to college. And finally, through the course of this campaign, I want to talk about what kind of nation we want to be after September 11th. We've made a lot of decisions in this country since September 11th in the name of protecting ourselves. We've started parsing words of what torture means. We've got warrantless wiretapping. We've got Guantanamo Bay. We've got secret prisons. We've done a number of things, but we've never had the discussion about whether this is the kind of nation that we want to be. I say we can do better. I say we have to do better. And I think that I'm not convinced that we need to do those things in order to be secure. I think there's a way we can protect ourselves, and protect our values at the same time. So that's who I am, and that's why I'm running for Congress. I want to thank you all very much for having me.
He could go. But he could go.
Okay. All right, thanks.
Yes.
Well, I think I started my journey here about 6 or 8 weeks ago, coming in for advice from friends in my own community, wondering if this was the right thing for me to be thinking about. There were so many people that have been calling us and continue to call us about running in the third. And I'm here to tell you tonight that the thinking is over. We are going to get into the race, and we'll be filing within a couple of days. And my first hire has been Eileen McCauley from the 41st, SD 41, and we are looking forward, between Ash, myself, and Terry, of creating for the Democratic Party in the 3rd Congressional District the best candidate we can produce. Because the Democratic Party wants this seat that they haven't had for 50 years. And we will, together, create out of a mayor, a state senator, and a young guy who quit his job to work on this full-time, a candidate that will be extraordinarily viable by the time this election rolls around. So I'm looking forward to discussing more with you some of the policy aspects, some of the principles that I believe in. You'll find some common thought, I believe, some nuance there from time to time. But looking forward to it. It's on Saturday, I would tell you, we got the greatest reception at the State Central Committee. And it felt so good to be in a place where your principles had a home. And I feel so good being here, and I thank you all for being so welcoming to me and to my wife in particular. Thank you very much.
First of all, Jim, congratulations. Yeah. And the other thing, I'm Terri Bonoff, and I'm running for Congress, but I also would like to honor Ash tonight. And who else has served in the military? If you're a veteran, raise your hand, please. So let us just take a moment. Today is Veterans Day, and as we know, we have soldiers serving in Iraq, and it is a very sad thing that we are still in Iraq, and we all have a commitment to bring our troops home. And so there's no day more important to remember that than on Veterans Day. This weekend I was at the JJ dinner in Iowa. And the JJ dinner, for any of you who don't know what that is, it's the Jefferson Jackson dinner. It's the big event of the whole political cycle, and all the candidates, the presidential DFL candidates are there. And I left that night where there's 9,000 people so inspired by the message of hope and their vision for America, because I really felt like their vision for America is our vision for America. And that this election, we are going to do it. We are not going to get left behind. And I'm running for Congress because I haven't felt like our leaders are listening to us. How many people feel like their voices are being heard in Washington today? Raise your hand if you feel like you're being heard. I'm telling you, our voices are not being heard. I serve in the state senate. I was the first person in 20 years, the first Democrat to be elected in the state senate. And I believe I was elected because I have that commitment to let the people's voices be heard. I don't care if you're Republican, Democrat, Independent, your voice gets heard with me, and I bring your message back to the table. And I make sure that everybody works together on a bipartisan basis to move us forward. I spent 20 years in business. I grew up in Edina, by the way. I should always remember to say that when I'm in Edina. I went to Edina West High School. Had a great childhood. I was the only Jewish person in a class of 500 at the time. So it was a little different than it is today. My background as an executive, I was a vice president in a public company, have a track record of success in business. That, combined with then years of staying home once my kids were teenagers, being involved in the community and building consensus and things like being president of the baseball league. And then moving to the Senate, and there having some real accomplishments, particularly in the areas of education, where I'm the vice chair and have been received an award for my groundbreaking work in education, and in transportation, where in my very first session I identified $40 million of revenue that could be used for transportation without raising taxes, which, you know, nobody wants to move forward on that. So the governor was so happy he could find more revenue without raising taxes that he put my program in his plan and called it his plan. So, but his staff is very kind. They always refer to it as the Bonoff plan, and that is very nice. And so I appreciate that. We have greater challenges today than we've ever had before. The stakes are very high. And whether or not we can meet those challenges lies in your hands. I know, go on forever. Education, healthcare, global climate change are my priorities after we finish this work. I ask you if I can join you in bringing your voice to Washington to bring Minnesota solutions to Washington's problems, because I know that you know how to get it done. So thank you, and I look forward to campaigning with you over the coming years.